What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to TTB Ravens Media, bringing Ravens content every single day. If you want to stay updated with Ravens content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below and hit the notification bell as well if you want to get notified every single time I upload a brand new video. Now, in this video today, I'm going to be talking about some news that came out within the last week, and there's been just so much Ravens news that I haven't been able to make a video on it, and we briefly discussed it on stream, but it's the Antonio Brown on the I Am Athlete podcast. If you don't know the I Am Athlete podcast, basically Brandon Marshall, Fred Taylor, Chad Ochocinco, a lot of former NFL athletes, former coaches as well work with them, and it's like a training house, but also they have a show on YouTube that they do, and they interview tons of current athletes, tons of former athletes, and it's really a great show if you guys haven't checked it out. One of the most famous moments, Cam Newton went on. Brandon Marshall got very upset. I can't remember exactly what he got very upset about, but he was, people were talking about that. So go check it out if you haven't already. But Antonio Brown was on, and this was within the last, week or so. And, they obviously asked him, right? You still want to play in the NFL. You still want to play, but, who do you want to play with? Like, who's the quarterback that you want to go to? Because you came to the Bucs for Brady. And he's said that multiple times. Brady is his guy. He wants to play with Brady. That's why he was in Tampa Bay. That's why he went to New England. He loves Brady. So they asked him, hey, who do you want to play with? And he was like, Action Jackson. I want to play with Lamar Jackson. And then it was kind of funny because I think Brandon Marshall asked him, he was like, why? And Antonio Brown's like, what do you mean, why? Of course I want to play with Lamar Jackson. Like, getting to play with an athlete that's special, like, that's something that you want to do as a wide receiver. And so I thought it was amazing that he kind of took offense to Brandon Marshall asking, like, why do you want to play with Lamar? But, overall, now I'm going to get into kind of my analysis, and I'm going to talk about a couple things in this. I'm going to talk about, do I want AB on the Ravens? I'm going to talk about, should AB be on the Ravens? And I'm going to talk about, will the Ravens be willing to bring in Antonio Brown? So let me know your thoughts on it. Let me know your answers to all those questions. Do you agree with me on all my takes? Do you agree with me on some of my takes? Please let me know in the comment section down below. And like the video, as always, if you like the content. But getting into it, let's talk about the first thing. My thoughts on Antonio Brown, what I want him in Baltimore, that sort of thing. Now, Antonio Brown, I think, is one of the best receivers of all time. I really do think he's in that conversation. Now, Jerry Rice obviously is at the top of that hill. Not a ton of debate there. But when you're getting into the 5 to 15, Antonio Brown is definitely in that conversation. But, obviously he hasn't performed to the level that he used to, back in 2015, 2016, the prime killer bee years in Pittsburgh. But last year and this year, he was actually performing very well. He got an injury this year, but up until that injury, he was actually playing phenomenal football. It was arguable as to whether or not he or Mike Evans was the true wide receiver one. And obviously Mike Evans is the wide receiver one, but Antonio Brown was putting up almost the same level of production as Mike Evans. There were some games where teams were like, no, we're going to stop AB. There were some games where they said, no, we're going to stop Evans. And then AB just went all out and was putting up crazy games, crazy touchdown games, crazy yard game, crazy catch games. Antonio Brown can still get it done on the football field. And I want to make it very clear that I truly do believe that. The question with Antonio Brown has been the off the field things. And I want to say right away that I can't speak to as exactly what happened in Tampa Bay. And nobody can, other than, Antonio Brown and Bruce Arians obviously has made his comments, and they're different things. And so I don't know what to believe. I don't want to take a stance and say, no, I firmly stand with Bruce Arians, or I firmly stand with Antonio Brown, because oftentimes when two people are disagreeing that much on something, it's probably somewhere in between. And I don't know exactly where that is. But, Antonio Brown comes with a lot of, I hate to say it, controversy, because I don't really necessarily think it's entirely his fault. I think the media just likes to talk about things that they want to talk about. And Antonio Brown, and some of the things that he's done and have happened to him have been a major source for the media in the sports world, especially football world. Whether it was, the Pittsburgh controversy, him and Big Ben, him and Juju, or him coming out and getting like frostbite. from the cryo freeze, and then also the Raiders call with John Gruden and stuff like that. And, overall, a lot of things have happened with Antonio Brown. And, I'm not someone that's going to blame him for those mistakes. I'm not going to say the Ravens shouldn't bring him in because he's, a couple years ago, he did some things that maybe weren't great for the organization that he played for. I'm not going to say that. What I am going to say is, I don't think if Antonio Brown came to Baltimore, I don't think he would be a problem. I really don't. I think he wants to be with Lamar. He wants to be with Hollywood. And he would be relatively under control. He was under control in Tampa Bay for a year. And then we don't know what happened. So, whether or not it was Antonio Brown, losing it, or if it was Bruce Arians losing it, we don't really know. But he was good for a year because he wanted to be there. He wanted to play with Tom Brady. So I feel like that would carry over into Baltimore. However, the controversy would come to Baltimore through the media. It wouldn't be through Antonio Brown. It would be the media saying. They would be writing stories every week. Is Antonio Brown causing locker room controversy? Antonio Brown didn't have 5 receptions last game. Is he mad at Lamar Jackson? That's what they're going to talk about, all right? Is Antonio Brown going to keep his cool playing in an offense that doesn't throw the ball a ton? All these questions are going to be asked. And it's just going to put a lot more pressure on the situation. And I don't fault Antonio Brown for that. I fault the media for that. So for that reason, I'm hesitant to say that I want Antonio Brown in Baltimore, not for the Ravens' sake, but honestly for his sake. Because I just feel like it's not going to be good for him to just be, because Lamar's already criticized enough, guys. Lamar's so criticized. I don't need to tell you guys that. But Antonio Brown's also unfairly criticized, and just bringing, the Lamar criticism is going to carry over to AB. The AB criticism is going to carry over to Lamar. And if you guys didn't know, AB tweeted out, quote tweeted the I Am Athlete post, and Lamar Jackson put the, I think it was the purple smiling devil face. I don't know exactly what that meme is called, or emoji's called. I don't really know what its proper name is, but Lamar put it, and it's let's do it. We know Lamar and AB, those guys are friends, right? They've worked together in the offseason. They know each other. They're from the same, from the same state, from the same area. They like each other. And then Deadspin, I believe, wrote an article, and they were like, Lamar Jackson is just bringing criticism to him. He's just inviting it at this point because he tweeted an emoji. I'm sorry, Ravens fans, but the Ravens are criticized enough. How much of it do we want to take? And I hate that even has to happen with Antonio Brown, but I feel like that's exactly what will happen. So for that reason, I think the Ravens shouldn't go in that direction. But now let's get into whether or not the Ravens will. The Ravens have had opportunities, okay? Last year, 2 years ago, they've had the opportunity to sign him. They haven't really made that effort. They haven't really put it into focus. And I don't think that's something that's going to change, especially with I'm just going to call it a controversy of what happened in Tampa Bay. I think that just adds to it. And I think that's how organizationally they'll look at it. I think, while I do believe Antonio Brown deserves another chance, the Ravens are not an organization that have been known very much for those types of second chances, right? John Harbaugh is a doghouse kind of coach. We saw with Tyson Williams, fumbles, boom, you're done for 6 weeks, right? Sometimes he's a no nonsense type of coach. And Antonio Brown, I don't think he would bring that much nonsense like I brought up earlier, but since he has had some in the past, I don't think the Ravens are looking at bringing that into their team. And that's a bit unfortunate because I do like AB. I love his game. Like I said, I think he would be phenomenal in Baltimore. I think he would make the roster better. I think he would make the team better. However, the media would be polarizing so many things and trying to create, unnecessary discourse between players and fans, and it would just cause havoc. And it wouldn't be Antonio Brown's fault. It would be the media's fault. And I don't know. I don't really want that to happen in Baltimore. But let me know what you guys think about the situation. Let me know if you want AB. if you think it will come, all those types of things. But thank you everybody for watching. Subscribe for daily Ravens content. Check out the TikTok if you haven't already. It's down there. Darn it, I point the wrong way every single time, but check it out if you haven't already. Thank you, everybody. See all of you again next time.